Good morning. Happy Saturday. Today I am using the Sarah Renee Clark Color Cube. And I was kind of at a loss as to, I was playing with colors and having a really hard time coming up with something that I liked. So I grabbed these color cubes that my husband bought me for Christmas that I hadn't used yet and got out my paints and color matched the 5 different colors to something as close as I could get it to these colors and started painting. So I just want to do a loose floral today. On the Sarah Renee Clark card that I just flipped over, it's nice because each of the cards has 2 sides. One side has all the colors, the other side has a photo with all of the colors that are on the other side of the card. So it just gives you kind of some inspiration or ideas when you're kind of having allergies in the morning and your brain's not working straight. I thought, I'm going to need some inspiration today. So this was wonderful. I really enjoy this product. My husband ordered them directly from sarahreneeclark.com. I do not believe they're on Amazon because I've looked before for them. So I'm going in with a Daniel Smith quinacridone rose, and then a Daniel Smith turquoise, and a Daniel Smith, what was the purple? The purple is Carbazole violet. And then my 2 greens were out of my Kuretake set, and they just matched perfectly with the card. So those are my 5 colors. And I wanted to do a loose floral. I wanted to do something just relaxing and easy on Saturday morning because we've been busy all week gardening, and I've been moving cinder blocks all week in my garden. And so this is just fun. So if you have these cards, let me know if you like them in the comments below, or any suggestions for what you do when you paint. But it really helped me out, helped me overcome the huge hurdle of getting me started being creative this morning. So I've got my Etcher, I think it's my Etcher number 10 brush. I really like this watercolor brush. It's nice. It's kind of stiff to make these kind of blobby floral shapes, if you will. And I'm just going in with a light wash of the purple and then going in and dropping while it's still wet. I love this technique. It's wet on dry. I did not wet the paper first. And then I go wet and wet with reinforcing all of the colors that are in there. And you just, no pencil marks, no sketching beforehand. I just kind of blob my flowers in, and I'm almost always pleasantly surprised when I'm done. So, and again, these are colors that I would not have chosen. If I sat down with my palette, I might not have chosen these to do a loose floral. So kind of gets you out of your comfort zone sometimes with colors, and it actually causes you to learn about colors, forces you to learn how to use colors that you might not be using on a regular basis. It's kind of fun. So when I do this, I go back in. I love the combination of pink, blue, and purple, or, a teal and a magenta and a purple. Growing up, my mom did my wallpaper in my room in that color. And so I've got a fond affiliation with these colors, and I love using them. So I'm just blobbing in some more magenta, moving that blue around. You just take your brush and drag around until it pleases your eye. Time to put some stems in. So I'm using the light, beautiful spring green. And I do like to touch the flowers while they're wet with the green when I'm doing this. It bleeds into the flower and just gives this beautiful, I like the effect that it gives. And this is quick. I mean, this is a 20-minute video. It's very fast and very fun and almost foolproof. Sometimes too, if you come back and look at it the next day, you might finish it and go, oh, I don't like that very much. And then you come back with fresh eyes. I'm surprised sometimes by my paintings when I think, ugh, I hate that. And then I come in and I think, oh, I don't hate that. That's kind of cool. So make sure you walk away from your work sometimes. Give your eyes a rest. And now this minty green, plop some of that in. And I'm not even doing a container today. I just wanted to see how these colors blend and have fun with that rather than going to the intricacy of doing a container with these. And it's spring, and you see a lot of bouquets that are just stems at the bottom. So go back in with some light green. And I have noticed I don't always put leaves in my bouquets. And so I thought I'd throw a few leaves in here. Bring out the green a little bit more. It wasn't, I didn't feel like there was enough of it in the painting. So just some basic push and pull, push down, pull up leaves with a round brush. Then I'm just I don't want to fill in all the empty space, but I want to fill in some of that empty space in the middle. I could plop in a few more flowers, but I'm liking the arrangement that's there now, so I don't really want to do that. So you can just pick your empty spots and plop a little bit of green in there, a little half leaf there, some leaves over on the other side. Just fill it in as much as you feel comfortable. I do like the way the mint green and the spring green mix with these colors very much. I just think it's she really, I don't know how she did, it's an enormous project, put all of these colors together, but there were not many of the cards that I didn't like. So I think once a week I'm going to try to pull out one of these cards, and it's just kind of like a creativity builder. And now some leaves out to the side. Bring that green into some other parts of the painting. And I was just doing this. This is my sketchbook, my Etcher Lab sketchbook, actually, that I was playing with this. And it's a cold press paper. I really like their sketchbooks are pretty high quality. I like the way the paint moves on them. And you can see the way the colors are bleeding into each other. It's just very nice. And another set of leaves up here to bring that green in. And then, you could leave it at any point that you want, but I did want to use my really cool Pilot pens, my G-Tech C4 pens. So I ended up finishing this up with a bunch of scribbly pen, which was fun. It depends on your mood and what you feel like doing. And with the light green, I do like to drop in another color. It's wet on wet. And if it doesn't move, you can kind of tease it like I'm doing there with the brush. I get the water off of the brush and then just kind of tickle the end of the dark color, and it will help it move into that wet color and give you a nicer color bleed. And a little more. It's still nice and wet. That happens when you use it. This is a real decent quality paper, so I think your work time is a little bit longer. than when I use, I always try to use 100% cotton, but when you use a better quality paper, the dry time seems to be a little bit slower. So you have a little bit more working time. And so I'm going in again. I go in 3 or 4 times with the darker color over the lighter color. And it's still moving. You can see the paint's moving quite nicely. And I just love the way the pink and blue creates its own purple, and then also the purple that I add to that. It's just it is a wonderful color combination. And if you do attempt this, I have a Facebook page, Creating with Christine Marks, and if I love to see when people follow the tutorials and fellow painters, I just absolutely love to see other people's work. And YouTube, as much as I love YouTube, there is no way of you sharing your work with everyone else. And so it's kind of fun. There's a nice small group of ladies over there that post some of their work. And if you do attempt this painting, post it and let us see it. I'd love to see it. And it's, like I said, a nice group of painters over there. So once I go in with the blue, I usually then go back in with the pink, because then it feels a little overbalanced in the blue. Sorry, my dog is snoring. And then a little more pink. I mean, you can keep dropping in paint while it's wet, but you don't want to lose all of the value changes, the lighter and the darker. So it's kind of a little personal preference, a little dance with your paintbrush, and a little bit. Now, what I love to do, and some people consider it a mistake, but I love when I do wet on wet with these florals to drop in droplets of water to cause, it's almost like a tie-dye effect. It really moves the paint in a beautiful way. And I don't put a lot of water on the brush or it'll be a big weird blob. But a small droplets of water, as you can see, I'm going to put in like 5 or 6 petals on this because I think I'm going to pull some of the color back out on that blue part underneath. But just drop in water where you want to move. Sometimes, usually it's where I have a super condensed area of paint that I don't want to stay like that. But you can see the ripples and the lines that it's causing, and they're just different. I mean, it's something you can't really create with your brush. And now, because it is wet enough, I go in with a drier brush. I clean my brush, wipe it off, and pull out some of the color. And I had thought about going over it with like a white gouache, but I actually like the little transparent white-ish flower. It's a pale blue flower that it ends up being. So you can go into any area that's wet. And if it's not, you can dampen your brush and pull it out. But this is a perfect time in the drying process to pull out paint color. And it'll still run back in a little bit, but I don't know. I like to lighten some of the super dark spots that way. Now I've got my Pilot pens that I love, the G-Tech C4, and I will put a link below to those because Amazon does sell them, and I am an affiliate, and I just love these pens. They will run a little bit if you get them wet, but they work really well on wet paper. So I like that. So you can use them on dry paper, you can use them on wet paper. They don't completely dissolve, but they will run a little bit. So I like that effect. I think it's beautiful. So I got a pink and a green and a purple, and then a dark blue. And I just want to throw in some more squiggly lines. I could have left it and been happy with it. I just like to give it a little bit of shape with some pen. I don't know if you'd call it pen and ink, because this is actually, it's kind of more watercolory type ink that's in it, but go over my pretty little purple flower there, give that some shape. And I don't want to trace the lines exactly. I want to go outside the lines and throughout the flower. It just, I don't know, I think these pens add a nice touch to fun, loose florals. And wiggle your pen. And you can't really mess this up. And I switch between the purple and the pink. Give that one a Hawaiian kind of look. And then I actually like going around the green leaves with, you don't have to use like to like color. In fact, the contrast is really nice. So I like going over the green leaves with my purple pen, or a blue pen, or you could use a pink pen, but it just kind of pulls those colors together nicely. And anyone else here who paints knows you just keep puttering and keep going when you're going to quit. But sometimes as you keep going, you discover that you're happier with your puttering. Not always. And in oil painting, you can fix that because you can layer on top and on top. Watercolor is a little bit more difficult. You want to putter, but not over putter, because it's not as easily fixed with watercolor if you go past the point of no return with your embellishments on your painting. So it's good to step back and take a look at it, see if you like it where it is. And of course I don't, so I'm going to go in. I don't like that straight line around that flower, so I just wanted to ruffle it. It's a ruffly, the flower petals are very ruffly in this, so I wanted to give it some wiggle. And a little more wiggle there. And then pink around the leaves. I mean, really, when you have this color box and you're doing this, it's hard to mess it up in terms of like adding a color that you hate, because all of these colors are working so well together that I feel like I could put any combination there together with the flowers and with the pens, because the pens are the same colors, and not mess it up terribly. But getting close to done. I'm not going to spatter on this one, although it would be really nice. I'm going to go in with some purple because I haven't missed that little spot of purple there. And I do like there, you can see there are shadowy areas where the darker, dark blue paint and the purple is there. Just a fun technique. I don't know what you even call it. It's loose florals, but just these beautiful blobby paints are a lot of fun. Now, it's kind of zinnia that flower up a little bit because all of my other flowers are like the 5-petal flowers. So I'm trying to throw in some flowers that have a different shape. So more like a zinnia. And then this one looked like it needed some stamen coming out of it. And a little bit of dark blue. And some little peekaboos out of the top there. And maybe that one. And I like the amount of white that is left showing through. It's a good idea to try to leave in watercolor. It seems more pleasing when there's some white showing through in different areas of your painting. It just helps the eye move around a little bit. And now getting these stems and some more, going around a few more leaves. I don't want to go with ink over the whole thing, but if you use pens, it's just addictive as you keep going. So this is it. This is the Sarah Renee Clark Color Cube and me putting them together. I did a little heart I'll show you in a second. First, I'm going to do some gouache. I'd thought about spattering some white gouache in there, which probably would have looked good, like little white flowers. So I put 3 in the middle of this flower. And then I started looking around and thought, maybe at the tops of those, but I didn't want to start putting white dots all in it. So it's just personal preference. I am not going to gouache this up, but I will show you the other painting that I did on the other side of this journal. So let me lift this up and bring it a little closer so you can see it without glare. And then this is the little heart I was practicing with this morning. So I hope you liked that. Thank you for joining me.